What's up, tankers, and welcome to another Armored Warfare review and gameplay video. Today, for no reason at all, celebrating the Chinese New Year, I decided to make a video, and I'm gonna talk about the M8 MGM 166, the American tank destroyer, tier 10. It was developed in 1990s. It was one of the prototype tank destroyers developed by the US Army to carry the hypersonic kinetic energy missiles. So the idea behind these missiles was that instead of a normal heat warhead, they'd simply fly very fast at basically hypersonic speeds and destroy their targets by using their kinetic energy. Their extremely high flight velocity made them incredibly deadly, literally ripping the tanks apart upon impact. So in addition to that, these missiles would be practically immune to ERA and hard kill APS. That's a very nice asset, but the downside is that it's only used at long ranges, and the kinetic missiles do have minimum range of 300 to 500 meters, so basically making them useless in close combat. In terms of stats, it's a rather complicated damage system. The average damage per this missile kinetic ATGM is 800, but the damage increases as the range between the tank destroyer and the target increases, as well as the penetration. So basically I have, as you can see here, at 200 meters 800 damage at minimum, and as the distance increases, I can basically, when you get to 800 meters, you can get 1k damage per missile with a huge penetration of 1800. So even the MBTs, you can pen them frontally. Some MBTs you can pen them frontally without having to look for weak spots. The reload between missiles is like 4 seconds, 4.5 seconds, as you can see here. You have a magazine of 12 missiles. When you are done firing the 12 missiles, then there is the downside of this tank, that it's gonna have a huge reload time of 1 minute. So in my opinion, better to fire 2-3 missiles and then reload and relocate. That's when facing enemies one by one, rather than waiting for the whole magazine to empty. So that way you have less stress about reload times. So yeah, look, 64 seconds reload time for the entire magazine. That's very huge, especially in PvP, where you need to reload fast and relocate, and 15 players cannot wait for 60 seconds reload time. The camo is decent for a tank destroyer, for a sniper, as you would like to call it, because that's what this tank is, sniper. So it's very good at sniping. 32% camo with also my paint applied. Camo while standing, because I use this retrofit electro-optical absorbing paint, it's another 8%. So yeah, that's what I would recommend in terms of retrofit, to have this one. The vision range is well, with my optics on, there is like 385. Stock is 350. I use also binoculars for retrofits, so that will lead me to a 450 range while stopped. And this tank is also not fully upgraded. I'm also grinding. I'm at 800,000 experience. It's fucking huge. 1 million experience for another 60 meters boost range to the view range. while the tank is standing still. So yeah, I just had the upgrades on the latest kinetic ATGMs. The enhanced turret traverse speed, it's increased by 20%. You can also increase your ability to spot behind foliage 15%, which is rather not that useful for this tank. Could have used other upgrades, but yeah, that's what we get, that's what we dance for. The smoke grenades upgrades, you get a magazine of 3 charges, and so it's total like 6 charges with the 10 seconds reload between the magazine, which is very nice. That's what this tank needs to disappear very fast as soon as it gets spotted. The spall liner with another 150 increase to hit points, which is not that ancestral difference for a tank destroyer at tier 10. Or most of tanks can pen with 1k damage, so yeah. Also everyone is using heat against you, so that's not a big upgrade again for this tank. And automatic soft kill APS for the 8 AGMs, but that depends on what kind of tank is shooting 8 AGMs of you. Some tank that have upgrades with more ADGM control, this would be rather ineffective, so I would rather get it for the last. It's so useless for me. And the engine, which is another 200k, which I don't really see it making a difference for a 2 seconds to max speed boost on acceleration. That's rather trash. So yeah, I will leave it. I think I'll get this the last, and this is before I get the APS. You get the universal retrofit slot, which I completed it with the rate of fire increase to 12%, so I get a little bit more forgiving on the huge magazine slots. The only time I have to face this magazine reload of 1 minute is like when I go in PvE, because there is a lot of AI bots that are coming together, and you must in a very small portion of time you must kill a lot of them, so that will empty your magazine very fast, so you are gonna get another minute of reload time. So yeah, basically this is where you're gonna face the whole wrath of the 1 minute 64 seconds reload time of the entire magazine. As a special ability, you also get the top speed. You can run away faster, relocate faster, which is rather what I would choose instead of this retreat, because it will reduce my vision range and reload speed. Vision range is not that big of a deal, but the reload speed, while I will have to relocate, it will seriously hamper all my playstyle. So yeah, acceleration, I will get more acceleration from this one, which will not give me much penalty except for penalty to camouflage, while this will give penalty to reload speeds and vision range. So yeah, this is bad business. I think it's not worth the risk of taking this for what, maybe more camouflage while you're on the move, but again, I think it's not worth it spending 2 millions on this trash when this what you already have is really better. So again, a very big downside to the upgrades of these tanks, because I don't know, spending so much experience on upgrades that are completely useless, I think it's totally not worth your time. So I talked about the retrofits. The vision range will get almost to the maximum while I'm standing still. Also, I'm using the Andrei Zaitsev commander for PvE. That is not giving me so much boost to vision range. I use it because in the PvE maps are not that open as the PvP maps or the global operations maps, some of them, and I have to use Zaitsev because for better concealment it will increase my camo by 13%. in small maps I don't want to get spotted, I want to stay hidden, so yeah, Zaitsev suited my best playstyle for PvE maps, because I grinded this tank in PvE. But I would recommend, I personally would recommend this tank not play it with Rashid, because it will not make a very big difference. I know you are thinking about the ATGM control. I do not, for the kinetic missiles they are so very fast that it basically makes no difference. So Rashid is best for the ATGM, not for the chem, how do you like to call it, the kinetic missiles. So yeah, I would personally go for Sabrina. It gives me another 4% camo, not as good as, but it's also it's not conditional as Andrei Zaitsev for standing still. I get this camo permanently, and a bit more boost the spotting range, 10 meters, so that will lead you to 540, the maximum view range, so you can spot and control your 540 meters by your own, without needing a spotter on the map, on PvP maps or whatever. Also it will give you some foliage camo factor and some reload speed, and of course the Sabrina's best cheesecake, module damage improved by 50%. So yeah, with chem every 5 seconds you also pen the ERA, so yeah, if you aim at the module it will basically destroy it. And the crew damage increase, so yeah, 10, 8, 6, 6, 10, so that's another 22% damage to the crew. So yeah, that's probably what I use for PvP and global operations as a commander. In terms of crew, I sent for the the acceleration. You need to relocate and move faster, so the better the acceleration, the faster you will get. That's quite logical. And the whole traverse for better maneuverability while on the move. Otherwise I don't know what to take. Ramming you don't need. Accuracy on the move, it's really again not needed, because the chems are so very fast that you don't need them. And the track, maybe this one, but let's be honest, you don't need the track and wheel repair speed, because you are not in close combat that much. If you are tracked, it's basically you will be tracked at a long distance, so you will use the repair kit. I also boost my acceleration and my whole traverse for more maneuverability with the synthetic oil. I get this every game. And in terms of skills of the gunner, the turret traverse speed, the ATGM control speed, I honestly did this because it really wouldn't make any difference. I did this just because there was simply nothing else to get. Your cannon, I never got my cannon hurt in 100, 200 games in PvE where I played against bots, never got my cannon. The max spread you don't need, the aim speed you don't need, you don't have any aiming time. So accuracy decay while firing is no needed, because you don't have an aiming circle to decay. So yeah, that's basically an empty decision. Maybe I don't know, it will make a difference, but really not on this tank. So yeah, I talked about this, I talked about the stats. Now let's get into the gameplay. The gameplay Operation Perseus, the most decent map for long range distances I found, and some camping and some long distance shooting situations, relocations, and other maneuverability on the rough terrain, and relocating between different phases on long distances on the map. As you can see, I play with my Zaitsev commander. I have the camo boost activated. I must admit that on the first phase here on this map, I played like a complete idiot. I don't know, I think I was just woke up in the morning and started the day with I feel good, let's start recording. But then I realized I missed a lot of shots, and maybe could have done a lot more damage on this map, so I can present my gameplay proudly. But I made up made up I made up at the last part. So yeah, first shot missed into the Leclerc. I don't know, I wasn't aiming correctly. Bilk 800. As you can see, the damage is standard. There are no variations between the alpha damage, because as you can see, 240 meters, 210 meters, these are my ranges of shooting the AI bots. Another horrible shot on the Armata, but I think there was someone in front of him, so this was another horrible shot on the Armata, when that was an overkill and I shot anyways. I should have kept my missile, my kinetic missiles, for some good alpha damage, not dealing trash 10 damage. So yeah, the damage variations, the alpha damage variations are not that big, or basically they stay the same, because my range is the same. So at 190 meters here, I refuse to shoot this AS, because I know there is another AS in front of him, so I don't want to mess around with another horrible shot. This AS at 200 meters, 800 damage, so basically more than 810 damage you won't see at this distance, 200 meters. So yeah, I tried to shoot the Sphinx, someone else picked it up before me, and now my huge reload time begins, because I shot all my 12 shots, and 60 seconds of reload time are incoming, with doing less than 5k damage. Could have done more, I admit. I missed a lot of shots, I aimed poorly, I got greedy and put some overkills into the enemy. And now I relocate for the second phase. It's this tank also comes with a autocannon to machine gun the infantry, enemy infantry. In this map I won't have, but I use it to blow up the secondaries. So yeah, my reload time is almost over. Good thing I relocated. I didn't need my reload time that much now. The enemy AI starts to spawn. I put smokes because I got spotted. Put smokes everywhere along my way to the next bush, to the next camping position, to the next sniping position, to get this tank, put this tank at work where it really shines, in the sniping areas. My vision range now is at maximum. I don't have that upgrade. It's another 60 meters boost, as you can see, so I do not cover all my view range, but it's quite decent enough to spot the enemies if they shoot here, because they start shooting at my teammates which are in the other area. So that leaves me to put the shots into the AI bots into the rear. So yeah, another 300 meters, 250 meters range, with an average of 830 alpha damage. Here I get spotted, smoke fast to conceal myself, because the AI spawning position are very close to me, so I basically take the risk. One shot after another in the hunter. The Merkava is showing me its side, so I put my last shot into the magazine into the Merkava. You do not have any problem penning at 200 meters the side of a Merkava. Let's be honest, you are a TD, you are a very good sniper, so you won't get that problems. But at 250 meters you will have problem penning the front of a Merkava. I mean problems, when I tell problems penning, it's like I mean by you have to look for the weak spot, and to be honest, in 80% of the cases you won't hit it, because also the downside is that at close distances tank is very inaccurate. So yeah, you better run away from close fights. You can't even dare to think that you will pen in front of a Merkava. But at long distances, maybe at 500, 600, 700 more, you will pen front of Merkavas like cheese. You won't even have to look for a weak spot. So yeah, another AI spawn. I finish off the Terminator, the side of the Terminator. There's a striker that's there. With this patch they included more wheeled vehicles, this new patch, and striker that is one of the bots there. I try a very slim shot there, and I managed to kill. I managed to damage the type there. So yeah, now the second phase is almost over. Probably there is one more bot somewhere around that. Yeah, oh yeah, the crab with some huge camo that we weren't able to spot. So we finish off the crab, and the third phase comes. We must relocate at our new point. I use my special ability with the acceleration, so yeah, rough terrain is no problem now. You go on rough terrain just like you would go on a road like this. So that made me really relocate faster than my MBT teammates, the Merkava and the XM. I get spotted from the Wilk there because I wanted to go in a different position rather than this one, because I don't know, in this position I will have to face most of the AI bots frontally, and 270 meters is not enough to pen wherever I want the front of an MBT. So yeah, that's what I wanted to opt for a different sniping position. But as soon as we clean up this AI trash, I will change my position. This was a fucking horrible shot, I don't know, because I moved while I shot, so my shot went completely sideways. I was thinking for a reload now, but I said as soon as I finish the Draco, and my decision was correct, because there was some enemies who weren't spotted, and I did have some decent shooting position. I did have some. I wouldn't have time to reload my 4 shots. So yeah, it was a good decision. Now I opt for emptying my whole magazine and shoot these guys on the cap, and then go for the reload time. The trick is, I admit I was using a little trick here, because I knew I had 5 kinetic shots in my magazine left. So the trick was that the reload time would be it was for 5 shots, not for 12 shots. So instead of 1 minute, I got like 20 seconds reload time. So while I was reloading for 5 shots, I pressed the restock ammunition button, so that happened instantly and put all my kinetic shots back, but I still have the reload on 5 shots. So that's a trick that you want to use on high reload autoloaders, like this one, MGM, or Cornet maybe, if you don't want to wait for the 12 shots, 12 at EGMs. That's a trick you would want to use. I managed to set on fire the Leopard. That gave me another great damage. Now the Cat B, no problem. As you can see, Cat B is full of air on the front, of the sides. You would normally pen that, but it was green all along. I tried another slim shot on the type, but I didn't manage to put it in because I missed. The Cat B, as you can see, is no problem frontally. Here 400 meters shot. As you can see on the Wilk was almost 900 damage. Now I go for another 1 minute reload time, but it's too late to complete the reload because the match is over, and we win the operation. So yeah, this was the most likely map that would give me a chance to prove what this tank is capable of. I think I played it before with the Cornet. I don't know. I will check my YouTube videos. So yeah, pretty decent for an MGM, almost 34k damage, shooter, uh, 1k experience, 8 kills, 9 assists, and that's pretty much it, I guess. Shooter medal. In conclusion, this tank is one of the best snipers out there. I don't know. It's probably the most used in global operations, the most used sniper in global operations, because there are some maps with open terrain and long range distances which this tank can really shine and damage. You won't get much experience for spotting and bouncing shots, so that will probably hamper your progress in the in earning experience and grinding modules and upgrades for this tank. But overall, for a sniper, I think it's pretty good. They could work a little bit more on the kinetic stability. Sometimes I don't know. There are some shots with which I honestly, my personal opinion, I think they are bugged. So probably the devs should focus more on fixing those shots. But other than that, it's really one of the best snipers out there. It's not really my playstyle. I do not like camping and sniping. Probably there are some cases when I play like this when I am lazy or I don't not want to focus that much on a game and I just want to sit in a back and maybe text a message on a phone or watch a movie. This is where I would like to play the sniper or maybe artillery. I don't know artillery. I only played in Global Ops. And yeah, that's pretty much it about this tier 10 tank USA. And I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you on the next one with an MBT video. Thank you for watching, and hope you have an excellent day.